Hello, hello, beautiful people. How are you doing? Please say hi in the comment section and let me know where you are joining me from. My name is Flora Basie. I am a digital accessibility expert at Linoratic. I am also founder and CEO. Well, if you have any question, please put the question in the comment, and as we move along in the session, we will make sure to address it. So today we are going to talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, financial power play. And I have the perfect speaker to talk about this topic with you. She will help us with a reality check, that's for sure. She will be sharing a little bit of strategy and tips around the topic. She will also help us enhance our worth and confidence. I strongly believe that talking about financial is also from a mindset point of view. So I think that she's the perfect person here to kind of bring us um, ahead in the game of finance. But before I get to that, I want to very quickly tell you a little bit about her. Her name is Ericka Young. She is just an amazing leader. You'll get to know her very soon. Hi, Fra. How are you doing? Joining me from Canada. Oh, this is really exciting. And so let me tell you very quickly about Ericka. So Ericka is a trailblazer. She's an amazing speaker. She's a coach. She is really helping professionals as well as organization really get ahead in the game of finance. Now, she also is running an incredible podcast with her husband, Chris. And I think that let me just give you a sneak peek so you have a better understanding of who she really is. Okay, to do that, let me share very quickly. And I know Ericka is impatient to come on board and share all that goodness, but I want you to be able to see who she is so that you can connect with her later on if you have any more needs. Okay, so let's do that very quickly. So here is her podcast, and I hope you can see it. I think so. Let me share. Change something very quickly. That's the beauty of technology. There's so much button here. All right, here we are set. So as I was saying, she's sharing a lot about her podcast, and she has incredible topics that she's talking about. So if you feel like at some point some of those topics resonate with you, please go check the podcast and connect with her. She's talk about rewriting, for example, your money story, right? She also talk about relationship with money and tips. She is also here. She is with with Chris, right? Talking about money conversations. Sometimes it's so hard to have those conversations actually with a couple, right? Every couple should know and have with Chris and Ericka. Love it. She is also talking about simplifying your finances, right? Talking about love, marriage, and money. Money is everywhere in all talks, right? And she's here also talking about importance of communicating and budgeting, which I believe is very, very important, especially when we have initiatives and we have projects that we want to move forward. And today we are going to talk about diversity, inclusion, and equity, which also call for accessibility. There are huge projects around accessibility that needs the talk of money. Okay, so if you have again any question or you're joining me right now, please say hi in the comment section. I'm always, always happy to see many people. Hi, Michelle. So happy to see you here. Great. So, very quickly, what I will say also is that Ericka has been seen in many places. Yes, she has. Okay, she was also on ABC 15, right? ABC 15 Arizona. She was on Rams. Let me not make a mistake here with some of the names. I'm gonna read. Yes, I'm gonna read. ABC 15 Arizona. She was on AZ Central. She was on Glamour. She was on Fox 10 Phoenix. She was on Wish TV 8. She was also on Ramsey Solutions. So I think this woman knows a thing or two when it comes to money. So I want to say hi and welcome Ericka. Please say hi, Ericka, in the comment. Make her feel like she is welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Ericka, I'm so happy and thrilled to see you. I see also Richard is saying hi from West Coast of Canada. Yes.
Awesome.
So, Erica, please, I want what I would say. I've said a lot about you, and I hope I was able to capture enough. But please, in a brief way, just tell us who you are and why you're so passionate about finance and equity.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with my own story. The reason why I got into personal finance as a way to help other people is because I myself, my husband and I, we had to work our way out of over $90,000 in debt. And I wanted to help other people experience the freedom that we did once we did pay all of that off, recapture our dollars into our household and able to do something else with it. And so I really wanted to help other people. So for 18 years, I had been coaching people one on one and making certain that they have their own path to their freedom and they're able to have exactly what it is that they want in terms of their goals. Here recently, in the last couple of years, I've shifted more into workplace financial wellness and ensuring that groups and spaces where multiple folks arise, right, where I could do workshops and webinars and help to enhance the benefits package at companies. That's what I have been doing here recently. That came as a result of the book that I wrote, Naked and Unashamed 10 Money Conversations Every Couple Must Have. I wrote that back in 2017 and I started speaking to get that message out that we needed to have conversations around money, and that is our part of our path, well, especially when you're coupled up. Um, to some financial freedom. And so this year, as a result of some of that work and just an interest that my husband and I both had, we wanted to launch our own podcast. And so that's where For Better and Worth, the podcast came. And we are now 7 months in, and that's exciting to our little podcast. And that comes out weekly. So I do a lot of different things. I wear a lot of hats, but the core of the work that I do is to train people on financial wellness and also to ensure that I deliver financial education in the workplace.
Definitely. Oh, love what I'm hearing. Definitely. That's exciting. And it's quite important to notice that you have walked the walk,
Yeah.
meaning you were in a situation where, that called for increase in finance, right? Which was
Hmm.
the intention, which was the goal and the objective. And
Yeah.
you not only was able to come out of the challenge within that situation, but also now you are guiding people
Yeah. Yeah.
into making better decision in creating that success. I
Hmm.
love it. I would probably say because when you and I were chatting, which was a fun chat, by the way, you said something about people sometimes needs a reality check. Can you
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. A lot of times we're not paying enough attention to our money. And so we need a reality check. We are not so connected with our dollars and cents. We don't know how much we're spending on groceries. We don't know how much it's costing us to raise our kids. We don't know specifically how much we're paying on our electric bill. We're disconnected from how money is moving in and out of our hands. And yet we're very protective of it, right? We don't want to share it. We definitely don't want to talk about it. There's a lot of shame and guilt around the numbers if we have debt, or shame and guilt around not having enough money saved. And so it's an incongruent relationship with our money, and the reality check involves facing the numbers. It
Mm,
involves looking at how much you're spending on a monthly basis by category. It involves taking inventory of how much debt you have, and because the truth of the matter is that you can't do anything about a problem if you don't know exactly what the problem is. And so let's start there. I
so
did a
true.
presentation about a year ago with a company, and I played Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, and I'm not a singer. I'm not. But I wanted them to understand the point in looking in the mirror. Look at the man in the mirror first. Look at the woman in the mirror first. Look at the person in the mirror and say, you know what? I don't like some of the stuff I see. You
Mhm.
cannot, like when you wake up in the morning and you need to brush your teeth, you need to get the crust out of your eyes, you need to get the, you might have had a little slobber on the side of your face, right? Like you got to wash your face, you got to brush your teeth, you got to get dressed, take a shower, all the things,
Yes.
because the person you are when you wake up and you look in the mirror is not who you want to like present to the
Mm,
world, right? You don't have to get all glamorous, you don't have to do all the extras, but some of the basics are important. And I believe that the basics in personal finance is to make sure that you understand what's coming in and out of your household on a monthly basis, that you know how much debt you're holding, you know how much savings you have, and you actually have a way to project if you're on track to at some point step away from working. So that is the reality check. And I'm not
definitely.
saying it's easy, but I am saying sometimes you might need a glass of wine or some chocolate or some mood music or phone a friend and say, "Listen, can you do this with me?" Because it's not easy. Like sometimes looking at those numbers and facing that reality is tough. And so it's okay if you don't have to do it alone. I mean, if you don't want to do it alone, that really is fine. I think that the key is to face it so that something can be done to improve that situation.
Definitely, definitely. Oh, I love that. I think that, like you said, a wake up call is really checking what you are doing,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
checking it with a fine comb, like literally a fine comb, and just don't lie to yourself. I know I lie to myself sometimes. I'm like, this shouldn't cost too much or whatever. Like things are popping. But I love also, although I know, for example, you gave example around personal space, right? We
Yeah.
were talking about how you spend your money for different activities within your household and all that. This also apply very much to big project in corporation, where
Mhm.
sometimes we don't know where the money is going.
Yes.
True, we have objectives around big initiative, we have objective around big plans, but we don't know, for example, that a delay from some of the workers could be also really hammering the finance or the
Yeah.
budget, right?
Yeah.
And there are also other places, but I love what you're saying about face the reality. Start
Mhm.
writing down, where is that money going?
Right.
Follow the trail. And once you start following, and do not dismiss anything like grandma gift or whatever. Just put everything out there. I think
Yeah.
these tend to pop up and they accumulate. And sometimes it's hard because if you don't trace it, you don't know really where this is
Sure.
going. And
Yeah.
oh, I wanted to say also hi to Robin. She just say hi, Ericka here. Hi, Robin. So happy you're
Hello.
here. This is fantastic. So now that we understand that really, when it comes to budget, the person to blame or to acknowledge is ourselves.
Yes.
What are the tips that we can really use to make sure that we're doing a good job? I know that one of the reality check that you said is like, do you like where you are
Mhm.
with your finance? If you
Mhm.
don't like it, what can be changed? What can
Sure.
we do?
Well, I will tell you the three big areas that people tend to have challenges with on their personal finances. One is subscriptions. We subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We $10, $15, $8, add them all up, and it has gotten out of control. I had one client in particular who assumed that they were spending less than $100 on these subscriptions, and we added it all up, and it was over $200. So we vastly underestimate how much these things are costing us because they are smaller amounts, and so we think, oh, it's not a big deal. But when you have 20 of them, that's the big deal, right?
Mhm.
So this is a leaky area in our budget, and I would encourage you to add all of your subscriptions up and do this on a every 6 months, and evaluate, are you actually using these things. The other, and so this is all the things that are on auto pay that are not a bill, right? So let's look at those subscriptions. The other thing that people look at, or I should say underestimate on, is in their dining out. Dining out is huge. Food is absolutely a necessity. Dining out is a luxury. And people don't want to hear that from me, but it's true. Dining out is going to cost you multiples more. I
Mhm.
can feed my family basically $2 per person for a meal. Like I can get a meal on the table and it'll only cost me $10. right? But you take a family of 4 out to dinner easily now. I mean, I can't even do breakfast for less than $60. I literally can't do it, and that's without tip. So, um, when you think about what it costs you to make the meal at home versus what it costs you to dine out and even just to pick things up, like my daughter just, we went over her budget. She's a young person in college, and I said, yeah, maybe you can have lunch for $10 if you're going out to eat. She was like, no, mom, it's more like 15. I'm like, see, I mean, we're young people who's 19 and 20 years old. They're spending $15 on lunch. So, it adds up. It adds up. But a sandwich at home, same kind of sandwich, costs you so much less at home, right? So that's a leaky area. And then the third leaky area, and I hate to say this, but it's true, it is Amazon. The packages that come to your home, it's so easy, so convenient, so quick, and we do it all the time. If you just walk down a neighborhood or in an apartment complex, you'll see all of the packages that are piling up, especially around the holidays. And we are just so quick and easy. The convenience factor gets us every time. And so I would really encourage people to see what's a need versus a want in that area, and also to have a budget for Amazon. Literally have that on your budget if this is something that happens to you routinely. But those are the three leaky areas I would say in someone's budget that we really need to pay attention to if you're
Yeah,
looking to see where some opportunity might be to make progress.
definitely. I love that. And those are few things that we don't usually pay attention to, right? Because first, like you said, they're convenient, and
Hmm.
especially also with the latest event of COVID-19, where
Yes.
everyone was forced to shop pretty much online. I
Yes.
know e-commerce kind of gained more popularity, right? Not only for people without disabilities, and but also for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
Everyone subscribed to it because of convenience. But also, you mentioned the low cost, right? Because it's low cost. If it was huge, then we will think twice. Like, do I really want to invest in that? But because they're so low cost, they really go very quickly, like hot cake or whatever it is.
Yes.
You just sit right there. I like that. So, and also, can you kind of share a little bit of clarity if it comes to, for example, an organization? Let's talk about, for
Mhm.
example, a leader, right? Director managing some of those budget, like finance and all of
Mhm.
that. Do you have any clarity or any thing that you've heard around some of the challenges, and how do we kind of help with that?
Well, one of the things that people don't tend to realize is that retaining good employees, top talent at work, part of doing a good job of retaining employees is meeting their financial wellness need. So it's not always throwing more money at employees to keep them. It is helping them to manage it well. So someone who is financially distressed, and they're not going to tell their employer that they're having financial challenges,
Yeah,
but employees, studies have shown, who are financially distressed or having challenges with their money are twice as likely to look for a job. They are in large part looking for more money. If you, the employer, help them to manage the money well, we can reduce the need for them to look, right? It doesn't completely eliminate it, but it reduces the stress for them.
yeah,
And that means hopefully you are retaining more of your top talent, the people that you want to keep. That loyalty factor is increasing, and the retention is increasing as well. So we really want to keep our employees happy, keep them where they are, help them to continue to do a great job and to be productive. And we have to reduce stress that they might be having in this area of their life in order to do that. And honestly, turnover is a huge concern right now. I mean, because of COVID-19, lots of people are looking elsewhere for not just more money, but other flexible benefits and things of that nature, especially if they have um, any type of differing or a disability. And so I think that what happens is we don't realize that this financial wellness piece in the workplace can really help to reduce the need for folks to look. And that's a key. I mean, I've seen honestly, turnover numbers double. I've seen turnover numbers go from 7 and 8% up to 14% in organizations just in the last 3 years. And so
Wow.
if we can capture at least 1 or 2% of those just by making sure that they have a financial education at work, that's a huge opportunity for companies.
Definitely, I agree. I definitely agree. I think that there is definitely budget that needs to be allocated properly, and also
Mhm,
understanding where does the budget leak. And to your
mhm.
point, sometimes those elements are not very palpable, like
Yeah.
tangible, but they are a reason why people
Mhm,
will leave the job, like the financial insecurity. One story that one of my coach said, for example, he said throughout his journey, at first when he was young, he was let's just call it a bit poor, right?
mhm.
So they were challenging around the amount of money he was owning because of necessity and all of that. And then he hit his first million. But soon
Mm.
after he got his first million, he realized he was still poor. Like, what was happening? Like, he used to get about 6,000. I think he said that in the time that was a long time ago, he used to have $6,000, I think a year or a month, whatever. And he was a firefighter or something like that. But he grew up very quickly, created a company, earned 1 million, but
Wow.
still felt he was poor. And then
Yeah.
he said the problem was not the money, like what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
It's not about chasing money in one company or another company. The increase in money is not the problem. It's
Mhm.
the management of the money
Absolutely.
that is the secret.
And the management of the time for your employees. People don't tend to think about their productivity in that way, but people who are stressed about money are actually thinking about and potentially managing their finances to the tune of about 3 or 4 hours per week. They are taking 10% of their work time and doing something else. So they're not as productive in their work. That's costing the company money too. And so this is also something that you might not see in budget,
Yes.
but you'll see in productivity and potentially in the bottom line if they're not giving their full self to their job during those 40 hours a week. And so that is also it is an indirect way that it's affecting business, but in the end when you add that up over how many employees you have, and if everybody is spending 3 or 4 hours per week, that's huge. That means you're losing potentially 10% in profit every week, and that's crazy.
Definitely.
So I think the other part of this is to play defense,
Yeah.
right? We need to and not just go try and make more money. How can we play defense and make certain that we are all of the pitfalls or all of the places where we're missing it with just what we have
Mm,
versus trying so hard to go get more to offset that.
yeah.
Let's work in house and be more efficient and more productive.
Definitely, I totally agree, because as we grow and we have more needs, our appetite for everything goes as
Oh,
well. But
mhm.
managing better from the base is always one way to work towards to have more security. So, but you said also very quickly, oh, it's quite crazy. The time is already flying. Like, we
We're
have
having a
what,
good time, Flora.
6 minutes left. That's crazy. But I really wanted also you to touch base on worth, right? And
Yeah.
confidence, because sometimes
Mm.
we don't talk about money. Money is
Mhm.
sometimes taboo on the personal aspect as well as on the professional aspect. Can
Sure.
you just
Yeah.
touch base on that?
Yeah, we do definitely tie up our worth and our value in a dollar sign, right? So, how much we are paid, or how much money we keep, or how much debt we have. And we have to get away from only defining ourselves by a number. It doesn't matter what that number is. We are valuable, we are worth it, we are powerful, we are creative, all no matter what the dollar amount says, right? And I'll be honest, I have fallen prey to this. I'm waiting for a check that one of my clients is paying me, one of my corporate clients, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I did great work, and my confidence itself shakes because it's not in my bank account. Like I'm looking at the bank account saying, I thought I did a good job, And the truth of the matter is that I did a good job, and it's not dependent on how long it takes them to pay me or what my bank account currently says. It is simply that I gave them what it is that they needed, and I felt really good about that solution.
Mm,
Um, and it made a difference in their organization. And so we have to disconnect and change our success factors, right? We have to really hone in on what makes us successful, different from the dollars and cents all the time. Yes, it is a measure. It is not the entire measure of who you are and what you bring to the table.
yeah,
And so we have to really check that at the door. And so one of the ways that I do this, I keep voicemails from people who have given me some type of testimonial or encouragement. I keep emails. I always do assessments at the end of an engagement so that I can understand what went well and what I can improve upon. And in the what went well, I have rating scales as well as a place for people to write down their free thoughts. Um, and so I keep these things so that I can go back to them when my confidence is waning or I'm wondering about my value and my worth. I have these insulating moments, or even testimonials on LinkedIn, or just an email that a client
yeah,
sends and says, "Hey, Erica, this is what happened. It's been 6 months since I talked to you, and I appreciate, this has been the turnaround." That kind of thing is so important to make sure that you keep close by so
yeah,
that you can remind yourself mentally, when you're weak and you're like, oh my gosh, am I valuable? Did I do a good job? You can remind yourself who you are and what you bring to the table.
yeah,
And that is important in those moments so that you don't get off track, because people can feel energy where you're not your best self. And you don't want that energy to go into the next conversation with another client or potential client. And you also want to make sure that your head game is
yeah,
in the right place. So I
exactly.
like to insulate myself with some of those wins so that I remind myself, I have easy ways to remind myself of, where I've made a real difference.
I like that. And I think that also this create confidence, like just reminding yourself of the different achievement that you have
Yes.
made. Even if those are little achievement, those are
Hmm.
powerful things that you need to own. Like
Yeah.
you said it right. Energy is everything. When
Hmm.
you go to convince somebody about your abilities or your project or your initiative, or even talking about your spouse, right? Like
Yeah.
you need something to be done in a house. Maybe we need a little bit of renovation or vacation. You still have to approach all of those, with
Hmm.
confidence, with worth, with things that will really seal the deal. Oh, I like it.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's why we have to use technology sometimes. Sometimes it's nice to have that voicemail to listen to, and sometimes it's nice to have a screensaver or something on your calendar that reminds you of, what's really great. I love writing things down. I have tons of notebooks over here that remind me of stuff. But I think that whatever works for you, do that so that you can be in front of, that your mind is going to go tilt, you're going to forget, so we have to put some things in place so that we can remind ourselves.
Ooh, I love it. So, really, there you have it. Financial game achievement is not just the money, it's also the mindset, but it's also a reality check. So, hopefully, you were able to grasp anything around, right? Growth, right? Your worth.
Hmm.
Understanding also your confidence. You need to
Yeah.
put yourself in a better place to exude that feeling, that vibration to everyone you meet and contact. And also, financial is a game.
Yeah.
It is a game. Like, put on your bright smile, go for it. Have the courage to ask what you're worth it, and go for it. If anything, you will learn along the way. And from what I'm hearing from Erica,
Yeah.
she said, put the note, collect all the information, collect, rethink the information, and go back with your best way possible. Oh, I love it. Erica, I want to say thank you to you. Is there any other thing that you want to share with the audience? A last tips, or where can they find you?
Absolutely. So one thing is just know that money is only funny if we make it that way, right? So let's have the conversation, even if it's small conversations that will help move you forward. You can find me on erickayoung.com. That is my official website. You can find me on Instagram, Ericka Young Official, or on LinkedIn as well, Ericka Young Official. And then the podcast is For Better and Worth, because we don't believe you have to sacrifice your relationship while you build your net worth.
Oh, love it. Thank you so much, Erica. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, if you have more questions, feel free to just drop it in the comment section. Erica and myself would love to go back to them and address them if time allows. Well, time will probably allow because we don't need to be live. But again, if you want to contact directly Erica, you can also have her on LinkedIn right there or go on her website. But thank you so much and happy Friday, everyone. Bye bye.